Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. So we start with a shoulder opener today. So as you see, I have my blanket ready to roll it up. If you do not have a blanket, maybe you can, which I absolutely do not like, but some people love it. You can put your blocks kind of in a T. So one is going to support your head, and you can play around with the blocks and see which feels better. So maybe this way, and the same with the other block that is right beside, right in between your shoulder blades and gives you support here. Now, for me, that's absolute torture. I really, really don't like that. But some people, many people, adore this and love this. It really opens up the chest. So if you want a softer version, you can grab your blankets and get all the creases out so that it is nice and smooth. And then you can roll it up, make it quite tight. Now my yoga teacher would give out to me because there's already too many creases in there. All right, so then I'm just gonna switch it. We're gonna put it right here, and you probably know what's coming. You are lying right on your blanket, water blanket. If you have nothing around, if you don't have blocks, and you don't have a blanket like this, just lie on your back and open up the palms towards the ceiling. Maybe have your arms in goddess arms, and it opens up your chest as well. Okay, if you're lying like this, then you sit on it like that, or lie on it like this, and then just play around. So what we do with the feet is we open up the feet as wide as the mat. We bring the knees together, and then you can bring your hands like 45 degrees away from the body, maybe less, maybe more. See what feels okay, and then check your head if the head is supported, and then you can already feel there's this space between the shoulders and the floor, the mat, the earth. And then we focus. You can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, it's totally up to you. And then focus on your breath. Breathe into the belly. Send away all the way down into your belly, helping the belly to relax. Nice and soft breath into the belly. If you want, you can maybe do some ujjayi breath, where you restrict the back of the throat, or make that fogging the mirror sound breath. Now slowly walk your feet a little back to the middle, not much. And then we slide to the side. Doesn't really matter which side, whatever feels okay. And then we slowly take the blanket away. If you want, you can keep the block underneath your head. If it feels too much, you definitely can put it away, and then just actually put it away. actually put it away. Just put the head onto your mat and then rock your head from side to side. Small movements. And then we lift up both arms, hands facing each other. And then you lift up your right shoulder from the floor as if your fingertips want to touch the ceiling. And then you slowly bring it back down. You lift your left arm, reaching up, slowly bring it back down. And then just alternate in your own time, reaching up and slowly putting it back down. Take your time. Feel each shoulder. How high can you lift that shoulder and how slow can you lower it back down? And then we bring one arm, doesn't matter which, overhead. The other one goes right beside your body. And then we switch, bring the other arm down and lift one all the way up. And again, right arm goes up, left arm goes down. And then switch again, left arm over, wherever you are. One more time each side. And then bring both arms right beside. And then let's see. Bring your arms into a T shape right beside your body. My stuff is in the way here. And now lift your right arm all the way up and maybe have a look first. So my right arm is all the way up. I lift my right shoulder off the floor. And now I'm going to reach my right hand all the way over to my left hand. Reaching over. And then I bring my left arm, my right arm back. And then I do the same thing with the left. So reaching up the left arm and then bring it over to my right hand, reaching my fingertips and then slowly coming back. Now you go only as far as you feel okay with it, as far as it makes sense to your body at this time. Shoulders away from the ears, long neck, reach your right arm all the way up and then slowly bring the right hand over towards the left. See how that feels. Slowly bring it back. Take a moment and then slowly lift the left arm and reach all the way. The hands don't have to touch. They don't have to come even close. If it feels okay just to reach halfway up, that's what you do. And then slowly bring it back down. Both arms go back beside your body whenever you're ready. And then we focus on the lower back. So we have the feet out as wide as the mat, the knees are together, and then we are swinging the legs very gently, feeling out your range of motion, giving the body some time to go into that bigger range of motion. See what is possible. And then you walk your feet back in. And of course, you bring your right knee into the chest. You can hold them behind your knee and see how that feels. And if you like, you can slide your left leg out. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale out, the nose lifts the head, lifts towards your right knee, and then slowly lower back down. And then we switch, we bring the left knee in and the right foot down onto the floor. And then we see how this side feels when we slide the leg all the way out. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale out, your nose goes towards your left knee. And then you slowly put the head back down. And then bend both knees again. Shake the legs out just for a moment. Bring the heels in, arms right beside the body. And then we Focus on the lower back. Feel a little bit of an arch as you inhale. Exhale, belly forwards. Use your abs, scooping in those abs. Lengthen the tailbone, pressing your arms down. And then start lifting up into your first bridge pose. And again, see where it takes you. Be curious without pushing too much. And then we slowly roll down, bone by bone by bone. All right, and then the next one, we press the arms down, take that deep breath in, feel a little arch in the lower back, belly rises. And then we press the feet down, the whole length of the arms as we start curling up that tailbone, scoop the abs in and start lifting up. And then see if you want to maybe interlace your fingers underneath your hips and then scoop or scoot onto the tops of the shoulders. And maybe you can come a little bit higher. Feel the glute supporting and pushing all the way up, opening the whole front of the body. And then we slowly lower down, bone by bone by bone, into onto the floor. And then we bring the knees into the chest one more time and walk from side to side. Right, and then we come onto the side into a seated position. So you can sit on your blocks, you can sit on the floor, you can sit on your blanket. Take your time. We're not staying here for that long, but yeah, go for it. All right. You have your strap close by. But we're starting with the head. So find your seat. Feel that you're not getting pulled back. You're sitting pretty tall, right in between cat-cow. And you push the head through the top of the head. And then we start with small circles, taking your time. So imagine that hat, and with the pointy hat and with the point of your head, you draw that circle onto the ceiling. And then you change the direction. My neck is making a lot of noise. All right, and slowly come to the middle, and now you draw a circle with your nose. And you feel the movement of your head, nice and slow. Let it become bigger. And now change the direction. Come to the middle. Bring your hands right beside you. Press your fingertips down, right? And maybe open up a little bit more. Again, focus on your sit bones. Pelvic tilts forward. Pelvic, yeah, tilts forward. Pelvis. And find the length. Push through the top of the head. And now focus on your right ear. Push the right up. Move the right ear to the side, to the right shoulder. And then you push the left shoulder away from the left ear. Now, you can play around again with the position of the, the chin. So maybe the chin is all stretched out, and that's not wrong. It's just a different part in the neck that gets a stretch. See what happens if you move your chin a little closer towards the body, towards your chest. Where does it stretch now? And if you were like, no, Mandy, I was happy where I was, then just go back there and breathe and open up that left side of the neck. And then we slowly lift back up. And same thing on the other side. So you bring your left ear towards the left shoulder, push that right shoulder away from the right ear. Breathe. Again, if you want to play with that, chin to the chest, you definitely can. One more breath. And then slowly bring the hand back to the middle. And now bring your hands onto your shoulders and we draw that big circle. Now focus for a moment not so much on the movement of the elbows, but what happens in your shoulder girdle, in your between your shoulder blades. So when you touch the shoulders, the elbows, the shoulders move out, the shoulder blades move out, so you have that space between the shoulder blades. Now lift it all the way up, and then squeeze the shoulder blades gently together when you lower back down, right? So big movement, and then slowly lower down. And now take your strap. So first you have that big I don't know what's with my English today, I'm so sorry guys, but you can see what I'm doing, right? So now you move the arms back so that there's no stop. It should be very easy, a nice fluid movement. If it doesn't feel okay with the strap, if you don't find that grip, right, then just pretend you have the strap there and move the arms back and forth, all right? Or maybe you have a towel and it's not long enough or anything else, like a scarf or all right, and then we bring the hands onto the strap a little bit wider than your shoulders, right? And then you bring the strap all the way up and then you pull the strap apart and you bend your elbows. You kind of bring that strap behind your head. This is a kind of static thing. You're pulling it like crazy. My arms are shaking already. All the muscles are waking up here. And then slowly lift it up. And then without pulling, just a continuous pulling, moving out with both hands and then lower it back down. I think this is one of the recordings that we can delete afterwards. So lift all the way up and lower back down. Lift all the way up. And if the strap behind is not okay for you, bring it to the front. And you probably feel your shoulders are working, the muscles are working, they're warming up. Awesome. Now you put the strap to the side, and now we're lifting the arms. We're coming out of this position in a moment. We'll reach the arms away, and we come into eagle arms. So the right arm goes over your left. Bend your elbows, hook your hands. Now you drop your shoulders. You drop your shoulders, you lift your elbows. And again, play around with the position of the head. Maybe lower the chin a little towards the chest to feel the lengthening in the back of your neck. Breathe. And then maybe come into a cat-cow. So we bring the elbows towards the belly button round. And then we open up the chest, arch the lower back. And that is a much smaller movement with the arms in the eagle arms than we would do with the arms relaxed, right? So be aware of that. Don't force a bigger range of motion just because you're used to it in the usual seated cat-cow pose. And then slowly bring it back to the middle. And we are opening up the arms again. You can switch the legs, maybe with the hands down. And then we go the other way. So the right hand goes over your left. You hook your hands, drop the shoulders down, lift the elbows up. So this should feel completely different. I think I did the same thing. All right, so the left is over the right. Now drop the shoulders, lift your elbows up, chin goes towards the chest, and you breathe. And then round your back, bring the elbows towards your center, towards the core, and then again, lifting the gaze, lifting your arms. Shoulders are still moving away from your ears. And then slowly come back to the middle and open up your arms and come into table. So like always, you can bring your blanket and have some extra cushioning for your knees. So maybe bring your blocks with you. Okay, and then come into table. So make sure the hands and the knees are not too close together, right? So that would look like this. You want to have a good bit of distance so that your knees are right underneath your hips, shoulders are right underneath, or hands are right underneath your shoulders, and that you can have like a very straight, long back. If they are too close together, then your back is already very round, okay? So now we go exactly into that rounding back, scooping the abs in and up, push the floor away, and then open up the chest, drop the belly, lift your head. And we go into that cat-cow movement, moving the spine. And then we slowly come into our table. All right, and then we come into threading the needle. So we did this option or this version before. So if you feel like, oh yeah, I want to do that, I need to rest, you can come into child pose and then come into thread the needle in child pose. Or come back into table. And we are first lifting the arm again all the way up to the side and see where it takes you. Maybe you can lift it up a little bit higher. And then we are threading the needle. We are bringing the right hand all the way over to the left side, shoulder away from the ear. Your head can rest onto the floor. Now see what you want to do with that left hand. Maybe you want to put the fingertips all the way out, stretch the arm out, make that little tent. Maybe you want to rest your arm right beside your head. And then focus on your hips. The hips might be moving over to the left side. Bring them back to the middle, to the right side. Feel what it does in the area of your shoulder blades. Reaching that right hand away. And then slowly come back out, taking your time. Lifting up the left arm. If I'm too fast, you slow down. And then slowly come all the way over to the other side. And again, whatever you want to do with your right hand, stretch it out. Have the hand or the arm right beside your head. And then move your hips over to the midline. So a little over towards the left. Focus on the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. Reaching the left all the way over to the right. Perfect. Slowly come out. Open up your fingers wide. We are coming into downward dog, and then we are walking the dog. So grab the floor with all your muscles in your fingers. If you want to claw something out of the floor, and then inner elbow creases, look forward and relax a little, soften the elbows. Then tuck the toes under, lean back, push the floor away with your hands, lifting all the way up into your first downward dog. Now, again, play with it, find out. So you don't focus on the heels pushing down. You're focusing on your sit bones, lifting all the way up. And then see, maybe pedal, walk your dog, pedal the heels. And then find some stillness just for a moment. Feel the strength in your shoulders, in your arms, in your legs. Maybe lift your gaze towards your knees. And then we slowly come back into table. And then from here, we bring the right foot forward. Now maybe you have your blocks. And maybe you want to put your hands onto the blocks. Make sure you put your foot further away. And then lower your hips. Maybe you slide that left knee a little further away. And then you can see if you want to stay here, or maybe put the hands onto the knee. And maybe lift the arms, reaching all the way up. Spread your fingers wide. Turn the pinkies towards the midline. Open up the front hip. Oh. And then bring your hands into cactus arms, goddess arms, palms facing forward, spreading the fingers wide. Open up that chest. Reaching all the way back up. And then lower down both hands onto the floor. Now push your left hand down, lift your right arm all the way up, reaching up. And then slowly lower back down. Tuck the back toes under, lift your left knee. See how that feels. We're gonna do that twist again with the back knee lifted. If that is a little too much, put that knee back down. Okay, if you feel okay here, push the left hand down, lifting your right hand all the way up, pushing into your left heel, and then slowly lower back down. Lower the knee back down, come back into table. And then from here, tuck the toes under, lift back into downward facing dog. Maybe pedal, walk the dog, maybe stay quiet and still, focusing on breathing, pushing evenly down into the floor. Slowly come onto your tippy toes, lower down onto the knees, bring your left foot forward. And again, maybe you want the blocks underneath your hands. And then lower your hip. Make sure your left knee is not going over your left ankle. You stay here if that feels okay, if you're happy here. If you want to push the knee away, you go for it. If you want to lift your arms, reach all the way up. Energize those fingertips, feeling pushing down with your left foot and the whole of your right lower part of the right leg. And then open up the palms forward, come into goddess pose, shoulders down, open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades a little together, and then slowly lower everything back down. And then press your right hand either into the block or onto the floor, and we're lifting the left arm, reaching up. Again, imagine somebody is pulling you all the way up, and then slowly come back down. Push both hands down, tuck the right toes under, and you can lift your right knee. If it feels too much, keep it down. Push your right hand into the floor or into a block, twist open to the left, lifting your left arm all the way up. Then lower your left hand back onto the floor, and then lower the right knee and come back into table. Open up your knees and push back into child pose. Come back onto table. Now bring your knees together and see if you can sit on your heels. We're not going to stay here long. If this is too much for your knees, skip this one and go back or go onto your belly. That's where we meet you. So when we are here, we are bringing the right hand, come into a twist. So right hand over onto the left knee, twisting over to the left side, and then we do the same thing on the other side, twisting very gently from side to side. Just a couple of times, take your time. And then bring your hands, come back to the middle, and then bring your hands behind you, behind your back. Interlace your fingers and open up the chest, and maybe you can extend and point your index fingers all the way down. So for some of us, that's not happening. The shoulders don't want that, the elbows, whatever it is. So just imagine, and you can actually take your strap and really have the strap pretty close, right? So like this. Take the strap or whatever you have, and then you put it apart behind you again. Open up the chest, and maybe that helps. If that's still too much, you can open up the hands a little bit, the grip, or you just put your hands right beside the body, palms facing each other. Open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then come into this variation. Perfect. So now, wherever you are, come back into table. If you have the blanket underneath the belly or underneath your knees, we take it out and we are lowering down. We can do knees, chest, chin. You can come into a yoga push up and lower down here, or just make your way any way you want onto your mat. So lowering down onto the belly, nice and slow. Untuck the toes. Now open up your feet and feet stay on the mat. Open up your feet a little bit so you have that space, creating space in the sacrum. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. Make a pillow with your hands. Focus on that for a moment. Maybe bend the knees, windshield wipers. And then stretch the legs back out and really activate them, kind of lifting the kneecaps, scooping the abs in and up as if you want to create space between the mat and your belly. And then you bring the arms right beside the body into goddess arms again. You open up your fingers wide and then you lift your upper body. Actually, I forgot something, so come all the way back down. And then bring your elbows right in. We come into Sphinx pose first. And slide the elbows forward. Yes, much better. So now, open up your fingers wide again. Pull the elbows back. And then open up the chest. Breathe. Pull the elbows towards you. Press the forearms down. Forearms are parallel to each other. And then slowly lower back down. Make a pillow with your hands. Wiggle the hips. So now we go back to goddess arms, spreading the fingers wide. And then we lift up again the upper body. So your whole upper body is now nice and steady. Maybe go release a little lower. And then we are lifting both arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And lower back down. Lifting back up and lower back down. Lifting back up, lower back down. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. One more time. Lift and lower. Now rest your forehead. Maybe, wiggle the hips again. We come into the same position. We're lifting the upper body up, we're lifting the arms, but now we're stretching the arms out all the way, palms facing each other. Spread the fingers wide, and then we are pulling back into this W shape. Elbows right beside your waist, and then we're reaching all the way forward, pulling back. Reaching forward, all your back muscles are working nicely, pulling back. One more time, reaching forward and pulling back. And then make a pillow again, wiggle your hips. So now the last one in this position, many options. Again, you choose what works best for you. So I show you the first one. We interlace the fingers, we point the index fingers, we open up the chest and we lift the arms and we lift the legs. Open up the chest, lifting the legs. You can lower the legs if that's too much, and you can maybe come up half the way if you want to be very careful or gentle with your lower back. So the next option would be arms right beside your body, right? Not interlaced fingers, but same thing. You can also use that strap, right? Use the strap, hold the strap, and lifting up like this. All right? Now, pillow with your hands, wiggle the hips, and then slowly bring your arms right beside you or interlace your fingers, pointing your index finger, lifting up and lifting up your legs. Breathe. Isn't that fantastic? All the things you can do on a Thursday morning. Now slowly lower back down. Put the hands underneath your forehead, wiggle your hips. And then hands go right beside, tuck the toes under, push back, come into a child pose. And then slowly we come back onto the belly. So, how do I show you? But have a look first. And we did this before, so you know what's coming, or you know this one. I show you with this side. So, and if this is too much, there's also steps, right? So you don't have to go into the full rotation. So you stretch out your right arm, right? And your head goes the opposite way. And then we are pushing the left hand right beside the chest and opening up. I'm walking my hands away, and I can put my left leg right behind my right leg and open up. Now you have this real big opening in your right shoulder. If that is too much, then stay with the knee down. And maybe it just is enough to reach that right hand all the way out and maybe just come into a little bit of an opening towards the left. All right, let's all go for that. Right arm goes out, head goes to the left, or you're lying on the right side of your head, and then open up and breathe. Now slowly come back onto the belly, and we stretch the left arm out, and we do the same thing. Head is on the left side, and then we open up towards the right. I'm reaching a little further away, and then I use my foot to balance and push back. And breathe. Now, this is, I really, really like this. If you really don't, if there's any pain in it, there's no reason why you should do that. So move out of that, come into a child pose, in any pose, and just chill for a moment. We are doing lots of shoulder openers. This is just one of them. And if you can't do this one, or if it doesn't feel right, don't worry about it. You did already lots of openers. All right, and then slowly come back onto the belly. And then we come into child pose, pulling back. And then slowly come into table. And we come from table into down dog, forward, mountain pose. So hands open up, claw the floor, tuck the toes under, lift into your mountain pose, reaching up, feeling that opening in the shoulders again, opening in the back of the legs, and then walk your feet forward. Soft knees, bend your knees a lot. Now give your upper body a moment to become heavy. You can hold on to your elbows and really feel gravity. Feel the heaviness of your upper body, especially your head. Bend the knees even more. Give yourself support. And again, if it doesn't feel right, slowly roll up to standing. Wait for us in mountain pose. This is a good time for your thoracic spine to get some space in between the vertebrae with the weight of your upper body and your head. One more breath. And let go of your elbows. Press into your feet. Scoop your abs. Start rolling up and articulate through every vertebra in your spine. Keep the knees bent. And then roll the shoulders back. And come into mountain pose. I'm going over to my favorite side. Mountain pose. Palms facing forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades gently together. Lift your toes. Spread them out wide. Put them back down. Put your hands into your hips and sway gently from the left to the right. Bring your weight into the left foot and bring the right all the way back. So now we are coming into this high lunge, right? So the front knee is bent. I'm going over time again. I'm sorry, guys. So the back heel is lifted and you're pushing your back heel away. High lunge. And then you lift your arms, reaching all the way up. Fingers spread wide, and then you come into goddess arms, squeezing the shoulder blades very gently together, opening up the whole front of the body, and then slowly bring the hands behind, interlace your fingers, open up the chest, point your index fingers away, and then slowly bring the hands back onto your hips and come into warrior one by putting the heel onto the floor, opening up your hips towards the right side, lifting your arms, reaching all the way forward, lifting your arms, straightening the front knee, extending the arms, bending your front knee. Lift, inhale, and lower, exhale. Bend your elbow lightly onto your knee. Bring your upper arm over your head. Extended side angle. Reach and root down at the same time. Come back into warrior two. Palm flips open, reaching all the way up towards the ceiling. Keep your knee bent, but then straighten your knee, reaching up even more. Come into, or open up your arms. Keep the front knee straight. And then we're reaching forward for our triangle, lowering down onto the floor, the block, or onto your ankle, onto the shin. Don't put all the weight into it. Hand can be on your hip. And then slowly lifting back up. Hands come onto your hips, stepping forwards. All right, other side. Bring your left foot all the way back into that high lunge. Front knee is bent. Find that position, lifting your arms, reaching up. Goddess arms, bring the elbows right beside, palms facing forwards. Hands behind you. Open up the chest, point index fingers. Hands come back onto your hips. And we are bringing the back heel down for warrior two, lifting your arms. Check your knee and check the upper body. And then we float, lift, straighten the knee, open up, bend, lift and reach, lower and bend. Elbow bend, extended side angle, lifting. Come back into warrior two, flip the palm and reach all the way up. Keep that front knee bend, reaching up, straighten that front knee. Come into triangle. So we are reaching, and then lower down, lifting the arm up or keep the hand on the hip, whatever feels okay. Reach, breathe, of course, lifting all the way back up, hands onto the hips, stepping forward, shaking everything out. And we're coming into goddess pose. We open up the feet and put the hands onto the hips. Now again, your choice, how deep you go, what you do with your knees, what you do with your hips, right? So this might be the goddess pose, right? Your knees are happy, your hips are happy, your ankles are happy, everything happy. Maybe you want to come a little lower, go for it. Now we lift the arms, reaching all the way up, and then we bend the elbows, open up the fingers wide, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then we are lifting all the way up, reaching, and then we bend the elbows again, pulling it down, reaching all the way up, and pulling back down, reaching all the way up, and pulling back down. Make yourself as big as possible. Exactly. And then come all the way back up and heel toe back together. Come back to the front of the mat. And now bring the hands onto the hips. We're coming into warrior one. So bring the weight into your left foot. Right comes back. The right foot turns out towards 2 o'clock. You bend your front knee. The hips look forward. You're lifting your arms. Energize the fingertips. Drop the shoulders down, reaching. Now pull your elbows right beside in that goddess pose again. And then we bring the arms together. And we come into eagle arms. So your right elbow goes over your left because the left knee's forward. And then you hook your hands, drop the shoulders down, lift the elbows up. And now if you want, stay here. If you want, come into a back bend, lifting your gaze. Shoulders still away from your ears, lifting all the way up. Press evenly into your feet. Scissor your inner thighs in and up. Breathe. And then slowly lower back down. Hands come back onto your hips, stepping forward. And then the left foot comes back. The left foot turns towards 11 o'clock. Bend your right knee, hips looking forward. Scoop your abs. And then energize, lifting all the way up. Knees, spread the fingers, drop the shoulders. Breathe. Goddess arms. Open up, palms, fingers spread wide. Now your right foot is forward. Now your left elbow goes over your right. Hook the hands, drop the shoulders down, lift your elbows up. And if you like, come into your back bend. Might be too much, then stay here where you are. You're already in a back bend. Breathe. And slowly lower back down. Move hands into your hips. Step forward, shake it all out. We are going back down, forward, forward. Of course, we lift up, create that long spine space. Lower down, come into your downward dog. And push the heels down, open up your fingers wide. Lower down onto your knees. Come into a seated position. Very small. No, it's not a small twist. It's just not what we usually do. So right hand at the end, right hand comes onto your left knee. And then you come into your twist and slowly move into your full pose at this moment. Slowly untwist and over to the other side. Push through the top of the head. Find the length with the inhale, and then with your exhale you go into your twist, and remember the body always follows the eyes. So wherever you turn, the upper body will follow. So be careful. Slowly untwist and put your hands right in front and walk your hands forward, forward, forward. Slowly come back up. Switch the legs. Hands go right in front. Walk your hands forward. Slowly walk back up. And you're ready. We are ready for relaxation Shavasana. So if you want, you can make that blanket into a pillow and rest your head here. You can roll this up, and maybe if you have your blocks, what feels really nice, you have those two blocks, you put them underneath your knees, and because of the edges, you want to maybe put your blanket right on top to, that the edges don't irritate the back of your knees. And you can also put the blanket on your belly or cover yourself if you're cold. Put them on the belly for more relaxation. And yeah, you do whatever you need to do to have that sweet Shavasana. All right. As always, if you start with your legs stretched out and then after 5 minutes into it, your lower back stops, saying hi, then bend your knees, bring the knees together and your feet out as wide as the mat so that, relaxes the lower back a little bit. Okay. And then take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out your mouth with a big sigh. Everything is done. Nothing more to do. And if you need an anchor for your thoughts, connect to your inhale and your exhale with counting. You count all the way to 10 and then you start again. Inhale 1, exhale 2. And if your mind drifts, just very gently bring it back. But for now, focus on your breath. Feel how your breath is becoming soft and calm. And then let that calmness and softness travel all the way down to your feet. And start to relax your toes. Your ankles. Calf muscles. And the back of your knees. The top of your knees. Thighs. Hips. And with your next exhale, allow your legs to become heavy. Heavy and warm. Soft in the belly and your chest. Relax your lower back, middle back, and your upper back. Soften your shoulders, elbows, wrists, all 10 fingers. And with your next exhale, allow your arms to become heavy. Heavy and warm. Relax the back of your neck, the back of your head, the top of your head, forehead, temples, ears, cheekbones. Unhinge the jaw. Relax the tongue in your mouth. Soften your lips, your eyes, and the space between your eyebrows. And with your next exhale, allow the whole body to become heavy, heavy and warm. Now slowly, without changing anything, bring your attention back to your body and start to deepen your breath. Feel the belly rising, falling. Start to wiggle your toes and fingers. Stretch your legs, stretch your arms. Bend one knee and then the other. Roll onto your right side. And then push yourself up into a seated position. And bring the hands in front of your chest. Lower the chin towards your chest. And thank yourself for coming here this morning. I thank you for coming. Namaste.